Okay, sorry, just got done installing a light here, so everything's kind of torn apart, but let's see if we can get this Keyshare thing to fly indoors now that I have a little bit more light in here. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Remember, when you turn it on, to keep it as level as possible. Just hold it out in front of you. And I'm going to go to my Wi-Fi on my cell phone here. Just trying to hold it steady. There we go. Says it's ready. Let's go to Wi-Fi. It's a little too windy outside to be playing with this, so we're going to give it a shot indoors, even though I highly doubt it's going to do very well on tan carpet with low lighting. But hey, Pixley, and the password is 12345678990. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Pixley app. Pixley, and I'm going to go to skip create profile because it's not linked anymore. You can't actually do the profile thing. And I'm going to go to share later. I want to take high-res photos and stuff. So it still looks like it's some low lighting in here, but we'll see what happens. We'll give it a second to calculate. Definitely got Wi-Fi connected. There's a little bit of lag going on though. Oh, that's because I have it set for high latency. So there we go, things are getting caught up. That's a little better. Alright, so now all we're waiting for is this red thing, which I've determined that if the red thing says the optical flow sensor doesn't pick up enough light, it doesn't allow it to take off, which is kind of an annoyance, honestly. But it is what it is. As you can see, it's just staying red here. Staying red. Staying red. Let's see if we can take it outside. I thought maybe our new light might actually produce enough light for this thing, but let's take it outside and see what happens. Oh, if I don't throw my phone like an idiot. Alright, try this again here. Turn my brightness up so I can see. There we go. As you can see, it went green now that it's recognized it has enough light to actually take off. So what we're going to do is take off. I'm going to keep my phone flat. And let's actually take a picture here. There we go. So I will send it out forward. Oh no, I waited too long. There we go. Keep your drone level. There we go. So let's push forward here using the gyro sensor to control it. But I'm going to use the stick controls here. I have stick controls, so we'll do this. We'll send it out away from ourselves. There we go. And remember, it is operating on gyro sensors as well, so if I leave my phone, it's doing things. Oops. Alright, let's see if we can get her out of there. Remember, guys, to stop it, tilt sideways. And the motors turn off. Let's see if we have enough battery to have another go. I didn't even get a chance to take a picture, damn it. So as you can see, the thing went red again. And it's showing that I only have 1 bar of battery, so I'm probably going to have to go charge it again, unfortunately. So you really only get 1 flight out of this thing. So let's go recharge it, and then we'll take another shot at it. There's no breeze out here. But as you can see, it plays a major role in how steady that you hold this. If it's even off a little bit, then it wants to constantly drift that way. There's no way to correct that. So let's go ahead and recharge it, because you only get 1 shot at it, and then it says the battery's too low. So I'm thinking, guys, I may have to take this apart and see if I can come up with a better battery charging solution. So that was attempt number 1. Down the drain. It flew, but then it caught some little stumble and went down. So let's go charge it and give it another shot. Okay, well, we lost a little bit of sunlight here, but we're going to give this a go again. As you can see, there's a little storm moving in. Between the time that this took to charge, which was about 20 minutes, we had a storm move in. So this time I'm going to start it facing myself, and I'm going to put the reverse camera controls on. So the first thing I'm going to do is hold this down until it starts to start up, and then I'm going to hold this as level as possible. We're going to see if we can beat this rain. So now when I start up the Pixley app, I'm going to need to reverse the controls. The first thing I need to do is go into settings, get connected to the Wi-Fi again, and let's hope there's enough light for the optical flow sensor underneath it. So Cancel. Pixley. Connect. Beautiful. Pixley's now connected. Let's get to the app. We'll open up the app. Remember, I'm going to reverse the controls. You cannot create your profile, so we're going to skip that. We only have one shot at this, so we're going to go to share later. And there we go, it turned green. And now I'm going to reverse the camera so that it knows it's pointed back at me. And let's see if I can get this to turn green. It may take a minute. We'll see what we can do. It's calculating things. There we go. It says it's ready. I'm going to twist it just so I can see if it's caught up with itself. There we go. I'm going to hold it straight. And it says it's ready to fly. So I'm going to kick this off with reverse control set right there. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. There we go. We're going to pull back. There we go. Oops, oops, oops. I'm not going to mess with it. There we go. A little bit further. Beautiful. Let's take a picture here. I'm going to line myself up. Oh, it's a little windy out there. Let's see if we can turn the body towards me. There it is. Picture. Did it take a picture? Yeah, shooting. And picture. I'll show you what those pictures look like here in a bit. Beautiful. Now, let's pull it back towards ourselves and see if we can grab it and land it. There we go. There we go. I gotta remember the gyro sensor's fighting me the whole time, see? And then you just reach out, grab it, and tilt it sideways. Just like that, and it turns off. I always forget, guys, that you have to control it with the gyro sensor, but to do specific positioning or to get it out fast where you want to, use thumb control. So I always have to remember to tilt my phone, and that's when it does this. So if I tilt my phone backwards, it goes backwards. I keep wanting to fight the controller, which is something that I'm not used to doing. So as you can see, it is flyable. It was kind of bouncing around in the wind a little bit there, but you guys can see me on cam. Hey, what's up? Oh, you cutie. He's a big cutie with your big thing on your head. Oh, we got a nice storm coming in. I got lightning. Let's take a couple pictures of that, see what that looks like. Boom. We'll just take some random pictures. Starting shot. Shot finished. Let's just take some random pictures here, guys. I'll show you what all these look like here. Random. Let's see what the color looks like. Cool. Let's get some good shots here. Beautiful. Once again, we'll get the sky. See if we can get the sensor to not lighten it up. Boom. So, is it controllable? The answer to that, I think, is yes. I didn't run it for the full flight time. The idea of this is to just send it out and bring it back in a matter of 3 minutes or less. So, just remember, don't fight the gyro sensor like I do. I keep forgetting that the phone leaning forward and backwards has a lot to do with why this isn't staying in position and why it rolls right and rolls left. Because I'm pulling back on it and I'm like, come on. But once you get it out to where you want to, then you use these very specific buttons, or you just slowly do that. You can yaw, go up, go down, whatever you want to do. So you only have one opportunity at flight with this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and go and write my pros and cons list. I will tell you guys that this is not really a video drone. I took some footage with it earlier, and I'll show you guys that footage. I did take some footage with it earlier, but once again, guys, it's not really a video drone. It can take video, but it's very choppy footage. I guess if you really had to use it for a weird situation or whatever, then yeah, maybe not too bad, but this is more of a picture drone. So I would say this is a good little selfie drone, which is what they came up with. It's, you know, it sucks that you only get one flight out of it for the battery dies. So really you only have one opportunity to fly it unless you have a power pack with you. But it also only takes 20 minutes to charge. Very powerful little motors. I'm gonna see now that we've had an opportunity to test this and pull it apart, and I can tell you right now that the optical flow sensors do work. It just doesn't like low light settings. So I would say this is not very good for using in your house unless you have a lot of light. And once again, that little thing that's right here, the little arrow, tells you when you're good to take off and when you're not. So interesting stuff, man. All right, let's go write up this review, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Alrighty guys, so my thoughts on the Pixley. You know what? It's doing everything it really set out to do, especially for the $13 price point. One motor would be worth $13, so to get the entire package for that price is pretty good. Most of the functionality works. I did write up a pros and cons list. We're going to go over that. I think I'll start with my pros here, and we'll go ahead and talk about all the pros. So the app works still. That is a big one, I think. I think for a product that was a prototype to still be listed on the market, to still have it, I would say that's pretty good that the app still works. Going into pro number 2, it is well built. There's no denying it. It is a solid little piece of technology here. It is very well constructed. It likes the aluminum frame. I am not so much a fan of it, but I have crashed it a few times now just testing and playing with things and forgetting that, you know, gyro sensors have a lot to do with this, with your phone. And so really it's definitely staying intact. So it is well built. I still would have liked to have seen a maybe harder plastic version of this, but it is staying pretty well built. So for the most part, I'm happy. It does fly with no wind. This thing does not like breezes, but we'll get into that. So you can fly this outside with very minimal breeze. So it is, you can take it out. I wouldn't suggest it, but you can. It'll kind of fluctuate in altitude, and it gets blown around pretty easy. So it is a heavy little drone for the way they designed it. These inducted motors like this actually are kind of a poor design to do inducted. This is kind of like Whoop style, and you just don't get a lot of power or controllability when you do inducted motors like this. So I would have liked to have seen maybe fold out motors that didn't have inducted air, you know, that you could just fold out from the body. That probably would have really helped this setup more than what they did. But you know, I can't complain. I'm not going to complain. It was $13, guys. You didn't pay $299 for this, so look at it that way. The on-screen controls are okay as long as you remember that there are two things working against each other constantly. You can use the on-screen controls, the thumb roll and all that stuff, but if you're going to be using the on-screen controls, you have to make sure that the phone is level. Anytime you tilt the phone, it's relying on gyro sensor. Okay, so there's two things working against each other: gyro sensor and phone controls, and that is something that you guys just need to remember. So when you're trying to get it out to a location that you want to get it out to, let's say you just want to use phone controls, keep your phone flat while you try to use the phone controls to push it out there. Okay, that is a big thing to remember. I kept going back and forth, and it kept confusing me. I'm like, why is it going in that direction? Then I looked down, and I realized my phone is leaned to the right when I'm trying to bring it back towards me. So it's not going to come back if it's fighting two different types of controls coming in. So it's getting two different commands. One is saying go right, and the other one's saying go left. And the one with the more prominent output, which just happened to be my phone leaning, is going to take the command. So just bear that in mind. The video and pictures are okay. As you saw, guys, I did show some of the video footage. It's not really a video drone. It's more for pictures, guys. It is a designated selfie drone. It can take video, but I mean, unless you plan on, you know, running it through some kind of stabilization software later, it's probably just better to keep it as a picture drone. So yeah, take that into consideration. I did get about 3 minutes. My longest flight so far was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And sometimes I do run it down. Now, there's nothing wrong with running it down. I have yet to crash it because of low voltage. It has landed a few times because of its low voltage, and we'll get into that. So the C plug is great. I love that they chose to do Android C plug, because that means they were preparing for newer phones when they did this. So that's super cool that they did a C plug instead of a outdated, you know, mini USB. That's a good design to have the C plug. A lot of phones now run on that C plug setup. So it charges in 20 minutes. It's a very fast charging little drone. And remember, it's got a small battery, which is why you only get a 3-minute flight time. Later on, I'm going to try to take this apart and see if we can actually get a bigger battery in there and see what happens. Maybe we can get 6 minutes of flight. You know, who knows? Totally worth it. Just to try some stuff and see what happens, guys. We only all paid like basically $13 for it. So keep that in mind. There is, if you let it catch up with itself, so when you first start the app, with my phone anyways, I'm not guaranteeing this for everybody's phone, but with my phone anyways, if I give it an extra 2 or 3 seconds after it says it's ready to take off, and then I move the camera like this, I wait until the latency lag catches up with itself. That way I know the controls are going to be on dot, and it does. It's a very small minimum amount of latency lag. For the most part, it's minimal. So I would say it's not too shabby. I wouldn't suggest flying at FPV because you only get 3 minutes and it moves really slow, but you know, if you're waiting for phone controls to activate, I would give it a couple seconds. Overall, I think the sliders in the app controllability with the sliders and the finger touchscreen and all that works pretty good. I know a lot of you aren't a fan of phone controls, but for the most part, I didn't have an issue with the sliders. But I need to adjust the yaw. It's really simple. Line up the shot, you know, and then just take the picture. Hey, take the picture. Hey, you know, whatever. Hey, whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Get your selfie in, boys. Get your selfie in, ladies. Get your selfie in. Okay, so the fail-safe motor cutoff does work well. I showed that on the video. So when you grab it out of the air, all you do is tilt it completely sideways, flat, hold it there for a second, the motor's cut off. So I would say the fail-safes work. The motor cutoff fail-safe works perfect. Now if it does flip upside down, it takes a lot longer for it to shut off. It does register that it's upside down, and it takes a little longer to cut off, but just let it sit there on the floor. You can push the land button too if you want to, and push the land button until it shuts off the motors. But remember, the battery's only going to last 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes tops, so even if it doesn't shut off, just let it sit there and just buzz the motors out. It'll go into LVC and then shut off on its own power if it chooses not to. So LVC, low voltage, guys, it works perfect. I got a warning every single time that it said the battery is getting low, please land. I had no issues with LVC. It doesn't just drop out of the sky. It just goes, okay, hey, LVC, you know, and it lands and then touches the ground and turns off. So I have 12 pros for this, so far we're looking pretty good, man. I do have 8 cons, 12 pros and 8 cons. Now here comes some of the big stuff, and this is going to be what's going to, you know, set a few people off. But remember, guys, this was a shot-in-the-dark drone. As you can see, it does fly, it does work. Just the parts alone are worth the money of what you paid for in case you want to build another project. So here we go. This is the cons. This is the one everybody's going to be like, argh. Okay. Android can't transfer videos to the phone. I don't know about Apple, but you can't transfer over Wi-Fi the videos from the phone. If you click on the videos and you go to transfer back to device, it says, sorry, this is not supported for Android yet, coming soon. They never completed this app. Remember, we went into this knowing this was a prototype drone, and a lot of the stuff in the app is not complete. So we'll keep going into that. So Android can transfer pictures back to the phone. When you take a picture, it stores it immediately to the cellular device. When you take a video on Android, you can't transfer that back to the phone. Now, I don't know about Apple. If anybody has one that they're going to be using with an Apple product, please let me know if it lets you transfer back to the phone, okay? No, the app is not supported at all. That is a con. I don't see it as being an issue. So what? They didn't finish it. Most of the features do work. It's still pretty cool. You got a $300 selfie drone for, $13. I don't consider this a big one, but it is a con. I have to throw it in there because there is not going to be any more support for it. This is a big one for me, especially knowing that this came out in the past 2 years. There is no EIS, electronic image stabilization. That bugs me that there's no EIS on this thing. I would have loved to have seen even a simple version of EIS to get rid of all the shakes when you're trying to take a video. I think that would have made this platform 10 times better, and maybe we would have gotten it at a later date if they had continued to mess with the app. But because there's no more app support, we know that we'll never get it, so it kind of makes taking video footage of this thing pretty ridiculous, honestly, because you're just going to get all this jittery footage of it trying to just stabilize, and so it's not really a video platform. That's all I can say. It's more for pictures. So cons, no wind at all. It does not like wind at all. It's not a selfie platform that likes wind. This was meant to be used in an area indoors or in a gym or in a hallway where you got a little space, whatever the case is. A non-windy day outside. Definitely, if you're going to be flying it. Okay, I would have loved to have seen them not choose inducted motors, that, you know, fold-out motors that would have had more power. Anyways, I'm not getting into all that. So, it is better for pics than video. I put that as number 5. It is definitely better for pics than video, and that is a con. I would have loved to have seen better video footage from it. So, just remember, you're buying it as a selfie drone for pictures. 6, one-time flight. If you screw up, you don't get a second chance unless you brought one of those, you know, power banks with you and the charge cord to give it a 20-minute charge. You know, you don't get another shot at it. This is it. This is your shot. This is what you get. Unless you brought one of these with you, you get one shot at a flight. If things go sour and it doesn't work out, then you don't get another shot unless you can charge it on the fly. So that's a con. I would have loved to have seen it at least get 2 flights. 7, it hates low light. It will, the optical flow sensor on the bottom does not like low light settings. So if you're inside your house and it's just saying, I can't take off, I can't take off, I can't take off, it's because the camera they supplied on the bottom can't get a good enough picture of the floor or the area that it's in to be able to stabilize and stay 100% steady. Okay, so that's something to consider, is that this is basically a drone you can only use when you're in a very bright lit setting. So it does like outside. I've yet to have an issue flying it outside. In my house, every once in a while I can get it to commit to take off. Not that we have a huge lit area or anything, but every once in a while I can get it to commit to take off. But for the most part, it makes me go outside to fly. So I've been having to wait for a day when I, you know, even right now, it's storm rolling in, which is what, Florida, this is our stormy time. So, you know, it's definitely a con. I would have loved to have seen it take, you know, a little more low light settings would have been nice. Number 8, it has a proprietary battery built into it, and the only way to change it is to tear it apart, and I hopefully will be able to make a video showing how to do that if I can figure out what kind of battery this takes and see if we can maybe upgrade the battery a tad and get a longer flight time. Doing the mod easily and still keeping the structural integrity of the drone and adding a little bit of weight and see if it still continues to fly, that would be cool. Okay, I will definitely get around to that, but it does have an internal non-changeable battery. Okay, now I'm a hobbyist. I'm gonna tear it apart. I'm gonna get inside of it and we're gonna see if we can do that, and if it's easy to do, I will make a video showing everyone how to change the battery or how to extend the battery. Alright, so just expect that to be coming. This could be a fun little drone, you know, and don't forget guys, I will be giving one of these away. So that was my view of the Keyshare, you know, high-res selfie drone for 300 bucks. We got them for $13. The prototype drone, it does fly, it does work. You may not get all of the cool settings, it's like sharing on Facebook and all that stuff, live video feed, because I never completed the app. But I think for a $13 price point, it was totally worth it. I hope you guys enjoy your purchase. If you guys have any questions, if I can answer them, I definitely will. Feel free to put them below. This was the review of the Pixley drone. And it is pouring rain outside right now. Luckily we beat the rain. So, oh, let me flip this up right. Pixley! So, that's it guys. I'm calling it a day. Don't forget to smash that like button, drop a subscription if you haven't already. Show me some love and support guys. Put your comments below. Let me know what's going on. And drone worship, I'm out of here man. Toodaloo.